Hello, guys, and welcome to United Pulse. I was watching Super Cup yesterday, and it was very exciting for me to actually see how Real Madrid lineup was compared to United. The reason why I'm comparing it to United is because if you see, Manchester United right now are relying heavily on youth as well. And Real Madrid right now, if you see, except for maybe Mbappe and a few other names, and Mbappe is a new signing, so I'm not going to compare him. Real Madrid have always had Galacticos. They always had players with pedigree. They always had players who were ready to make an impact. And that is one of the reasons why you never count Real Madrid out of Champions League. You always expect them that if they are in the Champions League, they will win. There's always, you can say, like, more than likely that they will win. And why is that? It is something that we need to understand. Real Madrid is a huge club. Regardless of whichever player comes to Real Madrid, even if the player is not as good as Real Madrid standards, the team doesn't suffer much. They signed Bale, huge pedigree, came with a huge brand name, came with a huge price tag. The floor was set for him. It didn't work out as it should have. Hazard, big name, big money, huge talent, didn't work out. But the team didn't suffer. Why is it that Manchester United suffered? That is something that we need to understand. And Manchester United is, if not bigger than Madrid, it is same level as Madrid when it comes to fan base, when it comes to the brand name. And that is why it is something that I feel like we need to understand that what is going on. Why is it that only United is suffering? You see a player that, and nobody bats an eye when Real Madrid went for Vinicius Jr. from Brazil, who had never played outside of Brazil, for 60, 70 million, Rodrigo 30, 40 million. Nobody knew these players, but they still went for it and nobody bats an eye. But when United went for a player who has played in Europe for 30, 40, 50, 60 million, everybody's questioning that we are spending too much money. Why is that? Why is it that when Real Madrid buys a player from Brazil who has never played in Europe, people expect that it is more likely that the player will be successful? But when United buys a player from Europe, we are we are having our fingers crossed that we hope that it will work out. So this is something which always bothered me. If you look at the team sheet for the Super League for Real Madrid, front six players, they are all young players. You have Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Rodrigo, Valverde, Jude Bellingham, Messi. They are all young players. And when we look at Manchester United right now, we have Garnacho, Mainu, both youth players. You have Ahmad, who is young, who has not much Premier League experience, I would say, maybe a couple of seasons, but still he hasn't really made an impact to an extent that you say that, like, okay, he can go into any top team without a shadow of the doubt. You have Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno is 30. I mean, he is somebody who is a leader right now. He's, I would say, consider like somebody who is creating a bridge between the upcoming new players and the board, maybe, because we don't have many leaders in the team right now. Maguire, we thought that he would be a leader, but it didn't work out when he was a captain. Even you look at our backline, we have always had a problem in our left back side. Injuries, inconsistencies, centre backs. We have loads of centre backs, but they're always injured. So that is something that I feel like United need to address. But looking at the current team right now, I feel like it is going through a transition, and the transition needs to happen. And I am quite hopeful, you can say, about the future for United. I'm not saying that it is going to be like we're going to win the league next season, but I'm quite hopeful that the transition is happening at the right process, you can say. We are getting in youth, we are replacing players, and the good thing is it's not just about replacing players. We have spent money before as well, we have replaced players before as well, but it's about getting the right players in at the right price. The only thing that I am fearing right now is letting go of the players at the right price as well. because that is something that United is struggling a lot. Mark Goldbridge pointed out in couple of his, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I'm not really sure, but I was watching some tidbits of his videos, and he pointed out that Pep has destroyed football. And he pointed out a few really good reasons for it, and I do agree with it. The only question is that, like, I personally feel like if Pep destroyed football because of the structure that he has brought in the clubs that he managed, like Man City and Barcelona, the structural play that he was playing for, and because of that, a lot of teams had to change their strategy, or they changed their strategy following in that footsteps, considering that, like, okay, we are not gonna play like extravagant shooting from outside of the box and stuff like that. It's not Pep's fault. I feel like it is the footballing brain's fault, because if he can implement something which works for him, maybe there could be other managers who can come in, play with their own ideologies, and come up with the system which works for them. You develop players according to their strengths, and this is something that I feel that United literally destroyed a lot of our players because we didn't had a system which actually works. We bought in players because of certain reasons. Like, for example, when we bought in Bruno Fernandes, we brought in because he was so good at scoring goals. And he was so good at scoring goals from outside of the box, not just inside of the box. He had pace, he had stamina, he would play all day long, which he has shown at United as well. But the one thing that has suffered for Bruno Fernandes is shooting outside of the box. And I feel like since coming to United, he has not made such an impact that he used to make before. Maybe on his first season, yes. But afterwards, I feel like they kept on changing his style of play to cater to other players, which I feel destroyed his football. And that affected a lot. If you see, since after his first season, we have seen that Manchester United as a whole has scored less goals. We've become more of a defensive play. It is not exciting anymore. A lot of our players, when before we bought them, they were exciting players. But since we got them, it is becoming much more composed, much more calculated, and because of that, we are making mistakes as well. Because it's not the style the player is coming in from. So I feel that is affecting the players a lot. And of course, there's a lot of other things which are going on. It's not just one thing, but that is something that I feel is affecting the style of play of players at United. And I feel, even though, yes, I agree with Mark Goldridge about the statement that Pep has destroyed football, but still, I feel like we can do, a lot of other managers can come up with their own ideas, and they can disrupt the football in their own way as well. And they should, because if we just have one style of play, everybody right now, if they're just playing to win the games, then football won't be exciting anymore. And that is something that we are seeing. People are losing interest in watching football. People are not watching full games. They rather watch highlights, watch the stats. People are more interested in looking at the reaction videos than the game itself. We used to have legendary players like Rooney, Phil Brothers, Van Nistelrooy, our new coach. Exciting players. We had Paul Scholes, we had Giggs, we had Ronaldo, we had Rio Ferdinand. All of these players, they were exciting. They had passion. We loved watching those kind of gameplay. We loved watching them not just, trying to win the game, but putting their life on the line kind of thing. A lot of people can criticize Phil Jones, but that is something that we saw in him as well. Even though he's not a legendary player, it didn't work out for him the way it should have worked. But you saw him putting his life on the line for United. And that is something that we are missing now. Martinez has got it. I mean, you can see that the way he goes in for the tackles, he is absolute United player. You can see from Bruno, like he's always running. Doesn't always work because of the style and everything, but he's trying. You can see that he's going to give 100% in the team. But that's about it. You don't see a lot of players who are giving every single thing, who are going in for the challenges all the time, who are tracking the ball back, who are, what we say, like the X factor. Not a lot of players have that X factor. And that is something that we are missing at United right now. And it's not just United. You pick up a lot of teams. The X factor is something that the football is missing now. We used to talk about Brazilian samba and all that. It's no longer there. People don't want to watch Brazil play even anymore. They do, but not to the state that they used to before. The excitement is gone, or it's diminishing at least. So yeah, I mean, this is just my 2 cents, which I wanted to say. It will be a short video. Tomorrow is the first game of the season for United. Fingers crossed for it, and hopefully we will have a good result. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave some comments below if you feel that you agree with me or disagree with me, and what are your predictions for the United lineup for the match. Have a nice day. Cheers.